Yeah. Wow, this brand.
Mr. Noah, Mr. Noah,
Hey, what? What?
Mr. Noah, did I do it? Did I bring back 205 Live? Did I do it? I've snapped my fingers. I got the gauntlet. Did I do it? Is 205 Live back?
Where did you get the Infinity Gauntlet? How you know Thanos? We're back,
What?
bitches! Alright. Good evening, everybody. Now, I'm just a simple man, and my name is Noah Foster, and welcome once again to the return after 1 week hiatus of 205 Live Matters, where this week we will discuss the Friday night premiere of 205 Live, as well as the first ever NXT Cruiserweight Championship match, and much more. But before all that, for newcomers, allow me to introduce you to my co-host. We are the Simple Holiday. He is a family man. He is so renowned in knowledge of cruiserweight wrestling then and now, WCW, WWE, TNA, and beyond. It is my good friend here, good at heart, gives you that Southern hospitality, Mr. Christopher Mace. Chris, how are ya? We took 1 week off, and all of a sudden things are back to normal.
I'm glad they're back to normal. All the rumors they're saying about 205 Live being canceled and all that stuff. And then when it wasn't on, it got me kind of worried. But I was so happy to see it on the network. And I'm glad I'm the only one that had a glitch in it at first when I found out later, because Noah got to hear all about what I thought about the glitch at first, where I'm saying it's got to be Kane when it's supposed to be 205 Live Matter Live. But hey, I digress on that. I'm glad I got to see it. So that's what I was happy about.
That footage will never be disclosed on this platform until the cancellation of 205 Live. And you thought I go bad. Wait till you see this guy really go Hulk. Yeah, we're fans of anyway,
I went Hulk there. Hulk smash.
We like to have fun here sometimes. What are you gonna do? Wait till Halloween. I might do something crazy. AEW. But I digress. It depends also what I'm doing that day. But of course, yeah, it's great to see you again. It looks like things are back to normal, but also things have evolved a little bit because we got a first this week. So let's go ahead and first talk about that, because that actually resembles our opener for this week's 205 Live. The week for the Cruiserweights truly began this Wednesday, where Lio Rush, who won a qualifying Cruiserweight Championship No. 1 Contenders match against Oney Lorcan, and that match was crazy, 2 weeks ago on NXT, live on USA, he faced in the opener of NXT this week the current champion, the Philadelphia Stretcher, and my personal favorite of the Cruiserweight division, Drew Gulak. My God, this is what you fucking needed to do with the Cruiserweight division, WWE main roster. Vince, get your head out of your damn ass. Look at the quality and not the quantity of your damn product. No wonder fans are driving away. Thank God Triple H has a brain. But I digress. I loved this match. The crowd was red hot for it, and boy, you talk about a guy that went from 0 to 100 in a matter of months, finding his own personal demons, which I can personally respect, because we all face those, and some of us, we face them in different ways than others. Marwinell being a mental health advocate, me being born mentally delayed, and always being judged and outlooking, even fighting against myself. Lio Rush, who had a rocky start with some Twitter activity that looked very negative, but also had some negative runs in his life, financially and personally, recreated himself, found his passion, both outside and inside of the ring, and he made it all worthwhile in this match. Before I break it down and say anything, Chris Mace, your thoughts on Lio Rush vs. Drew Gulak for the now named NXT Cruiserweight Championship in the opening of this week's NXT.
I think I told you weeks ago when Lio Rush won the number 1 contendership, if we get that Lio Rush against Drew Gulak, what was going to happen? Lio Rush was going to win that Cruiserweight Championship.
Did I
not? I called that one right. He won that Cruiserweight Championship. This is the Lio Rush from the independent scene. This is the Lio Rush of old. This man is on fire. And he got that win over Drew Gulak. I do not see them being done yet, by no means. I know they don't have automatic rematches, but I don't see this feud going anywhere anytime soon. Gulak's going to go back after that Cruiserweight Championship, now deemed the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. He's going back after that title. You saw it on the NXT exclusive. He's talked about, he got one on me, pretty much. Anything happens, he got one on me. But he's not done. He's not done with Drew Gulak by a long shot. I'm ready for the rematch. I can't wait to see when it's going to happen and see if it's going to be a different story.
Absolutely. I mean, this match went literally out the gate. Ding, ding. Drew Gulak going for his standard, it seems, in Cruiserweight Championship matches. The running dropkick. Lio Rush immediately goes out of the way, and Lio Rush pulls off an insane standing Spanish fly out of nowhere. I barely kept up with this. Freaking tope, kick, and Asai moonsault combination. Lio Rush, the guy gets going. He's hard to stop. That dude is incredible. Following this, we get a DDT counter because Gulak, of course, he had the strength advantage in this match, while Lio Rush clearly had the speed advantage in this match. He gets slammed face first into the mat and then clothesline out of into the corner. And then we get a quick cover from Gulak. Nice 1 count, establishing control finally here. Gulak in control for the portion of this. And then he relies on what brought him to the dance. Submissions. Drew Gulak is one of the most strongly based mat submission wrestlers in the game today. Gotch style and all that type of stuff. Shout out to one of my favorites in New Japan. Anyway, we'll talk more about that in a different thing. But anyway, after this, there was Cradle, Rofu, Crucifix, but he maintains an armbar hold during this entire thing, thus working over Lio Rush's left arm. Your left arm is not supposed to bend like that. That would look disturbing. Roll up into a submission, and then exchange chops from both men. You could tell how much both men wanted this title, especially because Lio Rush, this was his first true title opportunity since being signed to NXT, WWE, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, there's a slam, then there's dueling leg locks. Lio Rush trying to get the better Drew Gulak, but Drew Gulak had the better position, so of course he maintained the hold stronger here. And then we get an interesting spot where both men are on the top rope. Gulak, again, reinventing himself as always. He's not safe and sound feet on the ground. He tries to pull off some sort of offensive maneuver, and both men have an awkward landing. Not sure who got the worst, but Gulak lands on the apron, ribs first, and Lio Rush, he goes all the way from the top to the floor after falling on some security guard's body sitting at ringside. Yeah, I wonder if that was planted. Anyway, Lio Rush, though, he gets some kicks in following this as we come back from a commercial break. I am not used to NXT with commercials. Even on the network for the little fade in, fade out, which I find much better than watching USA commercials for Kristen Knows Best, Temptation Island, who knows whatever bullshit's on there. Yeah, I don't care about those dramas. Fuck you. Anyway, following this, though, we come back. We get Lio Rush some kicks. He gets a flip stand, and then Gulak wipes him out with a freaking lariat into a near fall. Good Lord. But we get a jump up. Again, Gulak, he's so crafty, he knows that Lio Rush is going to do that. He tries to roll him up. But Lio, knowing Gulak, apparently he watched Stomping Grounds and also Gulak's past championship matches, he rolls him up, matchbook cover, not enough. Jessica Carr, by the way, very smart ref in this match, literally twisting out of the corner, getting out of the way. She is one of the best referees right now, in my opinion, in all of the WWE. Young up-and-comer, too. Shout out to her. Great job in this match. Anyway, following this, we get the attempted stunner, which I learned now is called the come-up, but Gulak, I'm like, he's going to do it! He's going to do it! He traps Lio Rush into a gulag for the most of this match, but somehow Lio Rush, being the shifty little crafty guy he is, he figures out a way to scrim out of it and almost rolls up on Gulak, shoulders down, almost gets the 3. Not enough yet, and then Lio Rush, he goes for a sleeper of his own, basically playing to Drew Gulak's game. Again, these two know each other very well. As Gulak said, this is a ghost from his past. And then following this, though, Gulak, with the strength advantage, he finally gets Lio Rush up towards right position. You know what's coming. Cyclone crash. That's it. 1, 2, foot on the rope. You got to remember to grab the freaking outside leg. I don't know what you call it from that perspective. It probably was the outside leg because, yeah, it was his left leg. But, hey, Gulak, being the crafty vet he is, he's like, no! Pulled him a little further into the ring. 1 only gets 2 count. And then following this, we go up to the top rope again where Gulak's trying to do, it looks like a superplex. Lio Rush fighting for his life. And Lio Rush finally gets Gulak off. Gulak comes back up again. Nope, fights him off again. And has Gulak just down enough for a splash. Shout out to the deceased Eddie Guerrero, who recently celebrated his birthday. The big influence, by the way, on Lio Rush, you can tell, among many others. Anyway, Lio Rush, he gets a splash, and then not a fire splash, but a crossbody type splash. Keeps Gulak down long enough, goes back up to the rope. Once again, that was on the ribs, too, working on the injury-prone section of Drew Gulak, and he finally hits his come-up stunner. That is a very unique stunner, by the way. And then goes up to the top rope and hits his final hour splash. 1, 2, 3. Lio Rush finally becomes a champion in WWE, all the sacrifice, all the struggle, all the controversy, you could say, against him, both from his point and the company's point, is finally all alleviated, and all the work pays off. Lio Rush becomes the new and the 12th Cruiserweight Champion and the first ever named NXT Cruiserweight Champion. Congratulations to him, an incredibly hot opener. Regal comes out, presents the title. Gulak, though, he takes it, but then again, you get the stare down. Now, I can't read lips, but you heard what Miles said later on. Lio told Gulak, hey, I beat you, man. I beat you fair and square. Mm-hmm. And basically, Gulak, he gives him the title, shakes his hand, goes out of the ring. Lio Rush has done it. Congratulations. And then, like you said, following the exclusives, which we'll talk about later when we get into 205 Live, we get Gulak's reaction and Lio Rush's reaction. If this is really the start to a new era in the Cruiserweight division underneath the NXT banner, I so far am thoroughly behind it and very happy. What an amazing match. And congratulations, Lio Rush, on finally reaching the point that you wanted, a champion in WWE. Man. So with that, we then go into officially the first Friday night premiere of 205 Live, emanating from Las Vegas, Nevada. And basically, we get, like I said, a cinematic recap of this Cruiserweight Championship match from Wednesday. And we basically get both men's exclusives. Drew Gulak says, it's disappointing, but I am the law, changes the rule. And Lio says, I'm going to do everything I can to win this. This is my destiny. And then we go right into the show. We'll go more into those exclusives a little further later. And we learn finally what our commentary team is for 205 Live. A two-person booth. Aiden English remains on, and new play-by-play commentator, Tom Phillips. So it looks like after all these announced team change-ups, the one left out in the cold, unless he's doing a main event, I don't know, I don't watch that fucking show. I can't believe that's a fucking show. Byron Sax, come on, you and I both know main event's full of shit. Anyway, I digress. So we go right into the show. We go right into our opening match. It's a rematch from the last 205 Live, as it is Drew Gulak and Tony Nese versus the 1-2 connection, Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan. Initially, out of the gate, we get 1-2 chants, and then ding ding matches on. By the way, I love the 205 Live colors in that new SmackDown set. Fits perfectly. Mm-hmm. Chris, what was your thoughts on this opening match?
What I liked is we got the rematch. I wanted to see these four men face each other again after we saw a couple weeks back where Lorcan and Burch were able to get the win. I wanted to see the rematch. I wanted to see what Nese and Gulak were going to do, how they were going to rebound. Now it's a little different. Gulak doesn't have 10 pounds of gold around his waist anymore, so he's got that on his mind. He's got a lot of things on his mind. Nese, like I said, he performs at a high level. That 450 splash he did looked brutal. Looked like he actually injured him.
Yeah.
Like I said, this was a great match. I actually like this match better than I did the first match. I love the finish, Lorcan and Burch winning again. I'm hoping if they are going with SmackDown, I know we got the draft going on, so we don't know what's happening yet with them on Monday night. Yeah. But I'm hoping like this will lead them sometime to get a tag team title shot, hopefully at the SmackDown tag titles with the Revival, Lorcan and Burch, and then they can bring those tag titles to 205 Live, and let's have some interesting matches with this. That's what I'm hoping they're building up to, with Lorcan and Burch getting a second win over Tony Nese and Drew Gulak.
Considering the current state of the NXT tag team division and the fact they lost one of their prime teams in the Street Profits, finally now drafted to Raw, good luck, boys. Yeah, I completely agree. And again, Danny Burch and Lorcan, they made themselves as a real tag team to take seriously back when they took on the Undisputed Era at NXT TakeOver Chicago, too, I believe. Anyway, yeah, I thought this was a good opening match. We get 1-2 chants. Nese takes control initially out of the gate on both men. There was a weird dimming effect, though. I don't know if you saw it on the network. Was it like the network going out for a moment, or was it like the lights flickering? I don't know what that was about. That was weird to me. Anyway, Nese, he pulls off a moonsault first, corner moonsault, and then Burch, though, he eventually gets attacked. He takes control, but then distraction called by Drew Gulak. The heels take control, but get 1-2 chance. They were definitely behind Burch and Lorcan in this match. By the way, why is Burch named on Lorcan's Titantron? I'm just saying. Maybe they just moved it too quick. I don't know. Anyway, spin around kick by Tony Nese. Beautiful move. Very innovative. Into a nice near fall. Gulak and Nese, they maintain control for most of this match. And then you hear commentary bringing up points about, okay, Tony Nese, this is all he's ever been. He just tags along. Okay, he tagged with Gulak since the beginning. He then tagged along with Buddy Murphy. And now he's tagging still with Gulak. But Gulak no longer has, like you say, 10 pounds of gold. Shout out to the NWA. So it's like, what is Tony Nese really doing here? Is there any more now that Tony Nese and Gulak being together anymore? So I like the story continuity that was being portrayed here so far by Conan. I thought Tom Phillips did a pretty darn decent job. Better than Michael Cole, anyway. Anyway, following this, though, they talk about also the draft, how it could impact the Cruiser division, how it already has, with Lucha House Party now being drafted exclusively to SmackDown on Fox. So best of luck to them. Anyway, only though he finally gets a hot tag, and, well, Fury broke loose. We get freaking uppercuts, and Oney goes over the top rope, not once, but twice on Gulak. And then it's like he's freaking channeling, like, I don't know, spirit energy from the crowd or something, grasping for the sun with that face. And basically he just goes off like a Super Saiyan, I thought. He launches himself at both men and just screams, ah! And we get running uppercuts back and forth, shades of Cesaro almost. And then a wicked DDT spot onto Gulak. Tony Nese comes in for the save, only to get half and half on top of Gulak, giving us our first rear near fall of the match. Following this, though, we get Burch. He gets tagged in. We get some tag team offense. It looks like they were going for, I think that Impact DDT, but they did something called Heavy Impact, as Tom Phillips disclosed. Got some 1-2 chance, near fall, nothing special. Anyway, they go for electric chair. Obviously, they were going for that pop-up European corkscrew uppercut combination. But Nese, he came into play after rolling over Denny Burch, I believe, and open palm striking Oney Lorcan on the top rope. Very ingenious. And then we get a wicked Michinoku driver, heavy high end on the neck. That could have been nasty on Burch by Gulak, but that pinning combination was broken up by Oney, who basically broke it up with a flying headbutt. Shout out to somebody that we're not going to name. Anyway, following this, though, we get that wicked 450 splash, like you said, really close in the corner. I felt like it was a little botched here and almost was a little risky, and I thought Charlotte's legs were in danger. That moonsault hit Burch's knees first in the gut. That could have been bad for both men. But anyway, it wasn't enough. It was a near fall on Burch. Then we get a hockey fight breaking out as all four men showing signs of exhaustion and fatigue. They're in the middle of the ring. Chops and strikes are exchanged. And we get just melee in the middle of the ring. And then we get chop headbutt combination by 1-2 on both Gulak and Nese. Uppercut, impact DDT. Gulak gets pinned this time for the 1-2-3. 1-2 has now pinned both the men on this team. And you look at his face, he looks confused now because now not only has he lost the title, he's losing these matches now. And he lost now, not once, but twice as a tag team with Nese. And he got pinned this time too. So with the fact that Drew Gulak's name is disclosed on the draft list, and Tony Nese is as well, and the fact that they don't have the title anymore, but he respects the Cruiserweight division, respects us the hardest working division in all of WWE. It's really going to be interesting to see how this dynamic builds between Gulak and Nese, or if it finally falls apart. Because again, what does Nese have going for him now? There's no gold. And Burch and Lorcan look very strong as a tag team. You got to imagine they're going to go after the NXT Tag Team Championship at some point. Maybe War Games. But I thought this was a really nice opener. So we'll see what happens next week. Following this, though, we get video package for another person who is no stranger to the Cruiserweight division in 205 Live, Isaiah Swerve Scott. Swerve standing for confidence, 8 years in the game. We get video packages of his matches from 205 Live, as well as his recent match on NXT with Roderick Strong, where he took that man to the limit until the play. And you wonder, like I said, he just wants to own it all. Mission accomplished. We'll see what's next for this guy right here. And then following this, we get, like we said, recaps of the exclusives, as you pointed out, from NXT, post-NXT, for Drew Gulak, Lio Rush. Gulak saying, it hurts, I lost the title, I was champion for 100 days, congrats to him. But it's the most competitive division again in WWE, and I got caught. Lio Rush, he got me. But nothing endures but change, and if change is the rule, then I am the law. And then we go to Lio Rush, who is like, surreal, man. Here I am. I finally made it. Finally a champion in WWE. I guess it makes all the sacrifice worth it. And then click, we go to a Twitter post. He says, I'm ready to take on all challengers. And Drew, if you want a rematch, I got enough of a time. Hashtag MLTH, man of the hour. So we'll see what's next for Lio Rush and Drew Gulak. Bottom line is this. Lio Rush is going to be a great champion. Drew Gulak, he was a great champion. And Drew Gulak, in my opinion, is literally 205 Live itself. I know people call it Mustafa Ali the Soul, Cedric Alexander the Heart. I might be getting that backwards. I don't know anymore. But Drew Gulak, established since day one, made that division his own, took it from the good and the bad, developed his character, developed his in-ring game. Nobody is 205 Live more, in my opinion, than Drew Gulak. God bless them. Anyway, following this, we go into squash, because why not? What's your thoughts on this? Ariya Daivari versus Chris Bey. And in my opinion, Ariya Daivari is one of the only ones that truly tries to elicit heat from the crowd.
Just basically a showcase for Daivari to show off how good he is. Pretty much what this was about, pretty much. You want to establish that now 205 Live is right after Fox. Fox is wanting to be more sports oriented. They're also seeing this stuff live. They may be thinking about possibly putting 205 Live to FS1 later down the road. So if they're thinking with that theory, they want to put on a showcase of athleticism. So, of course, you're going to put Daivari out there who's got full of charisma. He's got that heel heat. He knows what he wants to do. He's being a very good character with the heel persona he plays. He's very athletic, and this was pretty much a showcase to show everybody, hey, I'm here. I'm the heel. I'm the bad guy here. Here I am. Pretty much is what it was a showcase for Daivari.
Yeah, and he didn't insult the city's sports either. He just insulted the city in general. The best thing about Vegas, I can come and go while you losers are stuck here. So after I beat this jabroni, I wonder who that was a cheap plug at. I'm going to go to the craps table. I'm going to triple my money, and then I'm going to get the hell out of here. And he basically destroyed this guy. But I will say, the crowd was definitely behind their hometown boy, so obviously Ariya Daivari, he established him to a degree, even though he got destroyed. We got that, I don't know what to call that yank, where he just crosses his arms and yanks him from the top rope. We get chants from Bey the entire match. Bey finally gets some offense in, only to get Uranagi, and then one of the most wicked finishers in WWE, in my opinion, that hammerlock lariat that turned him inside out. Game over.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And then following this, we come back from commercial for Fuck that! Anyway, they talk about draft highlight. Oh, you just wait. If I have to do predictions on that shit, I'm going AEW. You just wait. Anyway. We get
again.
we'll get draft highlight because the Lucha House Party is no longer part of 205 Live. They are officially drafted to SmackDown on Fox. So now Ariya Daivari got to establish himself with something new. Maybe he'll go after Lio Rush. We'll see. Because, Ariya Daivari, he was in that whole feud with Lince Dorado. Well, now it's completely gone. Good luck to Lucha House Party on SmackDown. I'm sure you'll do great with Rey Mysterio and Cain Velasquez there. Imagine if those five became a faction. Damn. Anyway, which leads us into our main event. Now, I saw the 2017 street fight between these two live in my first 205 Live, not some redundant, live experience. I just said live like 5 times. Anyway, I thought this was a really good match, though. And then I figured about the ending. What the hell? But then again, it also kind of relates. And before this match, they also disclosed how still more people from 205 Live that could get drafted. That could be without a GM. And we'll talk more about that a little later in the Simple Stance. But anyway, Chris Mace, tell me for your thoughts on this main event and the ending.
Main event was pretty good. Like I said, they had the street fight before 2017. I think this was deemed a no disqualification match, what this was deemed. So they all had the same meanings. You could do street fight, Fall County, where they're pretty much all the same thing, pretty much. Yeah. There's not really much of a difference. That's the potato kind of thing there. The match itself, I thought was pretty damn good match. Like I said, was it as good as their 2017 street fight? No, not to me, but for what it was before the ending, what happened with Mike Kanellis coming out, that kind of surprised me. Mike Kanellis with the Brian Kendrick, that's very interesting scenario storytelling-wise. Yeah. That's actually going to maybe open up something new for the future, because that's a new dynamic we've never seen before. But that still was like one of those shocking moments of, really? The Brian Kendrick? Mike Kanellis? What is What?
I mean,
What
he
just
is
happened?
planned. I mean, maybe this was planned all along, but I don't know. Anyway, take me through your moments through this match. Because, boy, were there a lot.
Oh God, there was a lot of moments. Kendrick beating him down with a kendo stick. Tozawa had all those chairs in the ring going for his finish. Just oh my God, there was a lot of crazy shit in this match. I just, Lord, like I said, this is a very entertaining match. That's my big. Like I said, you are like the play-by-play guy. I'm more like the color commentator guy in this show. So
I'm Tom Phillips. Okay, I'll take
yeah.
that. I do say "oh" a lot, but anyway, I'm not Michael Cole 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, whatever you want to call me. Y'all can call
Hey,
me.
at least I'm not going, oh, what a maneuver. Oh, that's great. Oh, what a maneuver.
Freaking robot on autoplay. Good Lord
Yeah,
Almighty. I'm not JR either, but I respect JR tremendously. Anyway, yeah,
exactly.
so they basically hyped this match talking about how it got built. 3 weeks ago, where the Brian Kendrick turned on his so-called best friend, Akira Tozawa, after whacking not only him, the Brian Kendrick, the Jack Gallagher with kendo stick shots. And basically, we get the post-match commentary the following week where it's like, there's a lack of respect around here. It's an epidemic. And apparently, Akira Tozawa, he'd fall for that. So now, I'm going to remind everybody that you respect the Brian Kendrick. And again, this goes back to the fact he's been on there all since day one. But episode 1, he lost his Cruiserweight Championship. He came into this brand as a Cruiserweight Champion and has not had a title match since. So again, there's a lot of logic to that there. But anyway, going to the match, Kendrick, no flag, no, juggling and driving his arms like that. He goes in the ring, he takes the jacket off, it's all game on, it's serious. Immediately, Akira Tozawa whacks him in the eye. We go out of the ring, both men. Okay, let's measure up. Kendo sticks. But Akira, he grabs the kendo stick from the Brian Kendrick first. We'll stomp on it. It's like, you're not going to get me this time. He gets the Brian Kendrick this time. Whacks him with a kendo stick. Kendo stick and chairs were the stories of this match mostly. And that table later. And boy, was there table chants throughout this as well. Crowd was hot, but I think they were hot more for a table than they were for other stuff here. But I digress. Anyway, following this, we get a couple of chops, and of course, one of my favorite Akira Tozawa moves. Big old jab. I can only imagine how that feels. Ouch. Suicide dive denied with a thrown chair to the head. Hello! Where's Joey Styles? That knocked Akira Tozawa out in the next week, draping him through the ropes on the apron, and then he gets driven to the steel steps twice. Following this, crowd's like, we want tables! But then we get a DDT on the chair. Steve Brian Kendrick just taking it all in. Crowd gets boos, so there you go. More kendo shots, and then we get, 2017. Not purple, though. Gray duct tape this time. And he literally locks him up on the ropes like a pair of handcuffs and whacks him with the kendo stick like 2 or 3 times. Methodically, slowly, it seems, making him really take it in. A very different approach to this match versus 2017. And a much less vocal the Brian Kendrick until he tried to choke him out with the kendo stick and says, "You give up? Do you give up?" Anyway, after trying to choke him out, he sets up a bed of steel chairs, was going to go for a sliced bread move, gets countered, the Brian Kendrick gets planted on the bed of chairs himself. A victim of his own creation. I had $1 for every time I've seen that in wrestling, I tell you. Anyway, Akira Tozawa goes mad, looking for something, but eventually he just throws in 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 10. 10 chairs in total into the ring, and he tries to suplex the Brian Kendrick onto them. There's snap rounds, spin rounds, both men jogging for position. In the end, Akira Tozawa, he gets it, suplexes him on the bed of steel chairs. That looked like it sucked. And Akira Tozawa did not get out of it unscathed either. As far as who took the blunt of it, I gotta say Brian Kendrick. And following that, we get more table chants, and then the Brian Kendrick finally gets the advantage again. After Akira finally gets the crowd what they want, another table, only to get another chair thrown into his face this time. And then the Brian Kendrick comes out and whacks him with a candlestick again and again and again. And basically, following this, we finally get the table set up after Akira Tozawa kicks the Brian Kendrick in the back of the head. And he doesn't go to the top rope. He goes to the apron, but damn did he get some air. And he sentons bomb the Brian Kendrick through the table, breaks it clean in half. Crowd goes electric, explodes. One more time. I'm surprised they didn't try and do anything with the announce table, ironically. Anyway, following this, we finally go back into the ring. The Brian Kendrick laid out. He's on the bed of chairs, and it looks like Akira Tozawa's going all for broke here. And I'm like, don't do this, don't risk your back. I was like, okay, this is where the match is going to end. The Brian Kendrick's going to somehow roll out of the way. As Akira Tozawa builds up his momentum to go for his title senton bomb. What the hell? What is this? So Mike Kanellis comes into play, takes him on, and again, no DQ. So it was perfectly legal. And he destroys Akira Tozawa. He basically whacks him with a candlestick twice, puts a chair on his chest, whacks the candlestick on the chair, on Akira's chest. I can only imagine those vibrations did not feel great. And following this, we get the love hurts, as you call it, finisher from Mike Kanellis, who drags the lifeless carcass D. Brian Kendrick into the cover, and D. Brian Kendrick wins this no DQ match. So now it looks like D. Brian Kendrick and Mike Kanellis are a duo, each with mutual ideas of respect, where Mike Kanellis seems to not be getting respect by the general manager and his wife, and D. Brian Kendrick saying he's not getting respected by the general manager, at this time right now, still Drake Maverick, or the rest of the Cruiserweight division, and both men, they shake hands mutually, they embrace each other, and there you go. So now, two men fighting out for respect and opportunities that they feel they deserve that they aren't getting is now a duo, a first-time new dynamic in 205 Live. The Brian Kendrick and Mike Kanellis, and Akira Tozawa, he looks disappointed, is wondering what's next. And again, as of next week, none of these men might be on the brand. Who knows what's going to happen in this draft? Again, they might lose their GM. But I thought it was a very interesting way to end this match and end their premiere on Fox. So with that being said, as we always do, let's go ahead and grade this week's episode. So this week's episode was the Friday night premiere of 205 Live on the WWE Network, after SmackDown on Fox. You built a brand new dynamic, you continue the stories, you're trying to rebuild your superstars that are currently on the roster, but you also acknowledge the fact that some of them might not even be there anymore. They didn't really tease like who they would want to be on 205 Live, but they also didn't show a lot more outside the 7-man, 8 if you count Lio Rush tonight. So overall, I thought this was a good episode. I always am good with two matches in a squash. I feel like that's a great formula. And I enjoyed the main event. If I was to compare this to the 2017 Street Fight I saw live, I agree. That was better, though. It also used more weapons, too. Again, this match was literally defined on chairs and candlesticks. And I'm curious what's happening with Gulak and Nice next, especially Gulak. Good show, though. I give it 3.25 out of 5. Maybe 3.5, just because, Lio Rush now, he's finally adding a new dynamic to the Cruiserweight division, being the NXT Cruiserweight Champion. And I truly hope that NXT Cruiserweight title gets a redesign. Black and gold. Purple leather, I just don't care for. Chris, what was your thoughts on this week's episode of 205 Live, and how would you rate it?
I would rate it 3.5. I'm going to give it an extra quarter because I thought the opening match was incredible. I thought it was well done. I liked it better than the first match that they had, and that was really well done, too. Mm-hmm. I would have gone a little higher had we had, I think, more of a finish to the match and what we had. But like I said, storytelling-wise, I absolutely did like it. It was interesting. It's something new. It's something fresh. It's a new idea with Mike Kanellis and Brian Kendrick. It's something we haven't seen before. It's not rehashing anything old that's happened before. So I'm really interested to see how that dynamic plays. I'm also wanting to see what's going to happen next with Lorcan and Burch as a tag team in 205, and I want to see how Tony Nese and Drew Gulak are going to rebound after the week they both had. So I'm definitely waiting to see what happens more.
Yeah, and I guess we'll really find out how the Cruiserweight division shapes between Monday night with the rest of the draft and also Wednesday night with the continuation of what's next for Lio Rush night now in the NXT Cruiserweight division. But with that being said, shout out to the people in 205 Matters Facebook group. You all rock. Zach Elias says he enjoyed the show as well. And if you all want to join in, share with your thoughts, and join some discussion of the Cruiserweight division, I encourage you to join hashtag 205 Matters Facebook group. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into some simple stances. So I feel like this is an obvious one to start with. So now we know the reincarnation of the Cruiserweight division. It's now the NXT Cruiserweight division, hence the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. They now have a new guy leading the fray, Lio Rush. So here's an obvious start. Chris, in your mind, who should challenge Lio Rush next for the title?
Drew Gulak needs to get his rematch first. I think this feud's far from over. I think that first match they had was incredible. I think it's money. I think they can build up on it. They could do something where they do a number one contendership match. You take people, a couple guys. You can take Swerve. You take a few guys like Swerve. You could take maybe Akira Tozawa. You could take Lorcan. You can do a six-pack challenge on NXT or 205 Live. Determine the number one contender for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Let Gulak win that, show that he deserves to get that rematch, and let them have a credible match. Let them have that rematch at War Games, because you got NXT War Games. Let's have the first NXT Cruiserweight Championship match at War Games. Rebook it. Lio Rush defends against Drew Gulak. That's my opinion. And then if Lio Rush is able to retain after that, then we'll go further from that. Or if Drew Gulak's able to regain the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, then definitely we'll talk about it more after that. But I think that's the best idea right now for that, is to continue that story, because I think that feud's far from over. I think that feud's money right now.
All right, fair enough. Shout out to also the people in Tulip for that Match Facebook group. They shared some of their thoughts, because now I do a post spot every week now. And Zach Elias says he would like to see Swerve challenge Lio Rush, but he likes Tozawa, but Swerve is new and hasn't had an opportunity yet. Our own mad scientist and leader of the NXT team, Jerry Slaughter, he disclosed Devlin versus Rush needs to happen. Jordan Devlin? Whoa. Mm-hmm. Okay. With the amount of ego that guy has, and I'm sure Lio Rush ego's in check right now, but you know it's going to come because now he's the champ. I would actually like to see that dynamic play out, because obviously right now Lio Rush, he's a face. Now, as far as I go, it's now NXT Cruiserweight Championship, right? Let's get some new, fresh talent in this Cruiserweight division and rebound them to NXT 205 Live. I would actually like to see something build where you set up Lio Rush versus the former DJZ, now Walking Wilder. I would like to see him challenge Lio Rush for the title right now initially, because in my opinion, you're now trying to reinvent the Cruiserweight division under the NXT banner, Triple H, right? So why not add some new, fresh faces there? That breakout tourney gave you plenty of idea. Former X Division champion Cameron Grimes, he's another one. I think his hat's still weird, but somehow I like it. But he's a guy that is on a dominant role right now. Let's have him challenge possibly for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. And here's another thing. It's NXT Cruiserweight Championship. I really wonder how far they're going to go with this. Like, are they not going to connect to just the 205 and under anymore? Can anybody in NXT UK actually challenge for this? Are we going to get some new dynamics here? Is it going to be treated like an openweight title? I'm very interested to see how this shapes up. But right now, off the top of my head, I figure I'd like Joaquin Wilder to challenge. Although Akira Tozawa, he still needs to get rid of that first reign mistake off his record. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and talk about, before I hand it over to you, let's go ahead and talk about this WWE draft. So we already know how it's not affecting NXT, but it seems to be affecting 205 Live, and that's just probably because Raw still technically owns the Cruiserweight division. I still don't understand that shit. Anyway, so 30 people were supposed to be in a pool overall from Friday, and were not drafted. At least 3 of them were Cruiserweights. We did not get any result yet at time recording for Drew Gulak, Humberto Carrillo, and Akira Tozawa. What's going to happen with these guys? Are they going to remain on 205 Live? Because, again, they don't have a choice unless they don't get drafted. Because, again, if you're not drafted, you're a free agent. You can go to any brand you want. So, I guess to sum it up, and I'll toss it to you, Chris, it's WWE draft season. Who would you like to see drafted to 205 Live? Or who do you see drafted from 205 Live to Raw or SmackDown?
That's an interesting one. Like I said, Lucha House Party being on SmackDown's kind of interesting, because the Fox is being more sports-oriented. I think Lucha House Party is a bad fit on there. I think they should have stayed on 205 Live. That's a really interesting one to me, because it's really hard to figure out who could exactly do it on 205 Live. Now, if we were changing the weight, since now we're doing stuff with NXT and it's now the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, and you're changing the weight a little bit, and you go back to your original cruiserweight weight, which was at 225 and under, then I can maybe see somebody like an Apollo Crews who's not doing nothing. Put him on 205 Live. Let's do something different. Let's have him get a revamp on his star. Look what Chad Gable did. He had 2 incredible matches with the gentleman Jack Gallagher. And then, look, he had that run in the King of the Ring, et cetera, et cetera. We're not going to talk about what happened on SmackDown. That's a different story.
Continue.
But like I said, there's opportunities for them. They can move. See, we were talking about the main roster, like I said, because there's so much talent in NXT UK they could pull from there. It's not even funny. But for the main roster, I would go Apollo Crews, like I said. Or if you're going to eventually tell the story of Rey Mysterio going back to his roots that I keep preaching about, go ahead and do it. He's getting closer to the end of his career. He could help establish those young up-and-coming members of 205 Live and establish them by giving them a veteran to work with. put him on 205 Live. Let him do it as a tribute to where he began at in his career as a cruiserweight, and let him go back and tell the story. He going back to where it all begins. He wants one last run trying to get that cruiserweight championship, now the NXT cruiserweight championship, and let's do it as he's getting closer to his career.
Yeah, and looking at these other names here, I'm sure they would not fit necessarily under the cruiserweight type banner because of their weight, unless they do, like you said, a little more for the weight. So just figure out these names that weren't drafted. Currently undrafted free agents as of time of recording, to my knowledge. Akira Tozawa, Cesaro, Gulak, EC3, Eric Young, Heath Slater, Humberto Carrillo, Sin Cara, Tamina, and the B-Team. Just from this list alone, the only one I could potentially see maybe doing something with on 205 Live is Eric Young. He is a former X Division champion. He's also Impact TV champion, but he's also had the top title too. EC3, he just needs a reset. Send him to NXT.
And I mean, you could put Heath Slater and you could put Bo Dallas on 205 Live. I think I know at least Heath Slater looks like he would at least appear to make the weight. Bo Dallas, maybe if he dropped a few pounds, like I said, he could actually probably do some great matches, make him a solo act again, let him perform like he did back in NXT when he was part of NXT, the NXT champion of all things. People will forget about Bo Dallas winning the NXT championship.
I gave you cookies!
I know. Like I said, let him have a shot at 205 Live. Let's do something different with him. You know, that's what I'm thinking. Let's do something. Even Curtis Axel, I don't think Curtis Axel can make the weight, but that's what I'm talking about. If we change the weight back to 225 like he originally was in the cruiserweight division back years ago, right, I said you could have a little bit more options of what you could do, who you could put on there if you're trying to stay at a certain weight and under. And 205 Live. But now with it merging with NXT and doing matches with NXT, being the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, would this be the great opportunity to change that weight limit?
Well, I guess only time will tell. By the way, those network executives like, woo! I did not think network executives were like that. That was a little weird.
Yeah.
But as far as that one of the draft goes, a lot of it was pretty predictable to me. Some of it was kind of surprising. Lucha House Party on SmackDown, we'll see. I mean, if nothing else, that does add some dynamic now to the tag team division because you do have the Revival there, and they are the tag champs. So maybe now you can do a normal tag team championship match between Lucha House Party and the Rival, and maybe Kalisto can go after, I don't know, Intercontinental title if it's still on there. But I digress. Again, I guess really things will truly shape up, like I said, next week Monday and next week Wednesday, because I still don't know what happened to these 10 people. But as far as I'm concerned, I would like to see that 225 because it would add some more dynamic to the Cruiserweight division. And honestly, NXT UK can also be involved in this too. Jordan Devlin was a crazy one by Jerry Slaughter. Kenny Williams is another one. He keeps losing, but let's see what the Lucking can do in the Cruiserweight division. There's definitely some dynamics there, so we'll see. All right, so Chris, what's on your mind tonight? What do you want to talk about on Simple Stances?
Okay, I'm glad 205 Live is still alive and well. I know a lot of people were discrediting it. It's gone. It's never coming back. Well, now it's back. It's back with a vengeance. You got it on Fox now. Now that it's on Fox, now we know they've made the title the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. They have it. They're showing matches from 205 Live on NXT. When do you think we're going to see matchups on 205 Live since it's now on Fox now with members from NXT? Like, I want to see Roderick Strong go to 205 Live and have there's some matches there. Let him face somebody like a Tony Nese. He's already been on 205 Live before. He was part of that Cruiserweight tournament a couple years back when they were trying to make a challenger for the Cruiserweight Championship at WrestleMania. He's been in there before. Or what new faces can we do it where we could say, okay, well, because here's the thing I have a question about. This is what I'm wondering about. 205 Live is still on after Fox, so that would be considered a main roster show. But if NXT, NXT UK, and 205 Live are all under the same umbrella, where does the line go from there? Are we going to keep it at NXT as an NXT branded show, or are we going to keep it as a main roster branded show? See, that's where the confusion is going to come in right now.
Well, it goes back to, like I said, to this day, back in 2016, Raw owned the Cruiserweight division. Now it seems like
Yes.
NXT owns it. And technically speaking, the 205 Live isn't on Fox. It isn't even on FS1. It probably would help the viewers if it did. It's strictly still on the WWE Network. It's just now on every week at 10 o'clock at night, immediately after SmackDown goes off the air on Fox. Whatever goes on Fox at 10 o'clock, I have no fucking idea. Anyway, as far as when you blur the lines, we know that the WWE, they go over to the UK like twice a year. So you always get that international clash between the UK and the US, even on 205 Live especially. But you also have those simple nights where they do like simply competition, like they did a couple times already this year, between NXT and 205 Live, respectively, only on the US soil. So as far as the next collision of this, I would have to say, as far as bringing more NXT stars on 205 Live, I can honestly see that happening as early as next week, because now that Leo Rush is in NXT and is the NXT Cruiserweight Champion, you're always going to have more merger between the two, because Triple H wants to bring everything under the NXT banner. Well, the biggest question is, how will that dynamic change if they don't have Drake Maverick as the GM? Truth be told, Drake Maverick, there was no high nor tail nor tweet nor highlight or anything about him involved on this week's 205 Live. He wasn't on WWE television at all. So it really comes down to, I think, what is the future of 205 Live going to shape as? We know that it's going to continue as is after SmackDown, but as far as the inclusion of NXT talent versus their current Cruiserweight division, I think it's just going to depend who gets drafted from 205 Live to the main roster and who fills their place. Again, I sense a lot of the breakout 20 people from NXT being involved in the Cruiserweight division, because not only do they fit the weight limit, they showed some amazing Cruiserweight chemistry. Angel Garza already has been involved, and he had a match with his own cousin, Humberto Carrillo. And Humberto Carrillo might get drafted. If that happens, Angel Garza could take Carrillo's place. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to start as early as next week, but honestly, I don't really know until I see the full results of the draft. And again, we don't even know where these free agents are going. None has been said yet on social media or on WWE's website. I just looked. So not only do we have the pool of 40 on Monday, we got 10 unknowns right now. That's a total of 50 people. And if tag teams get split, that even makes it even more complex. So honestly, I'm only going to watch Raw because of this draft, because I want to see how it shapes the Cruiserweight division. So with that being said, I am just going to say this. I don't think we're going to know the answer until next week Wednesday at the earliest, next week Friday the latest. But I do like that interesting stance. And again, right now, we have no idea what to think about going to happen next week. The only thing that could happen next week right now on 205 Live is maybe if neither gets drafted, because they are still part of the draft, Akira Tozawa and Mike Kanellis could go after, again, each other in a match. But this time, Brian Kendrick would be in Mike Kanellis' corner. And as far as Jack Gallagher goes, don't know what his future holds either. He might just go straight to NXT UK. But with that being said, so we took a hiatus from our list. I think pretty much right now, I'm kind of thrown off now from our list because I wasn't sure.
We're at number 15.
Yeah, we're at number 15, something number 14. I disclosed my number 15 was Hideo Itami versus, what did I say? Mustafa Ali, excuse me. So let's just go ahead and wrap that up real quick, and then we'll talk about number 14. What was your number 15? Because this actually marks number 14.
Well, my number 15 was Chad Gable versus the gentleman Jack Gallagher, their first matchup. I thought that was an incredible match. It showcased how talented Chad Gable was, breaking away from the tag team scene as a singles competitor. That finish, even though we all know now what we didn't know then, that it was botched. He was not supposed to have won by a count out.
Yeah.
Because gentleman Jack Gallagher slipped. Hey, botch, actions happen, shit happens in wrestling. It happens. But what it did was, in that mistake, what it did was set up another incredible match later down the road. Now, where that is on my list, I'm not going to say yet, but that was my number 15.
All right, fair enough. So number 15, it feels like the pinnacle. Oh, sorry. Yeah, number 14 for me. Now we're getting into the more serious matches. I'm like the top 15. Okay, I said I was going to try and change it up, not be so chronological. We're all the way in 2019 now, where the Cruiserweights truly have shined on this brand. When I think about the involvement of the Cruiserweight division, since WrestleMania especially, I gotta think about who really passed the torch. So my number 14 is actually going to be the initial to this. I went with Oney Lorcan versus Cedric Alexander. It was only Lorcan's debut. He was out to prove a point. He was trying to become the Cruiserweight champion. But Cedric Alexander, he was to prove that he was still 205 Live, even though we knew he was going to the main roster pretty soon. And following this, Cedric Alexander, he had an amazing showing, and he advanced in this Cruiserweight Championship tournament, beating Only Lorcan. It led to some events later, though, because Only Lorcan, at one point, he seemed kind of desperate. He almost, like I said, he pulled the ties, but in the end, he fell victim to a very effective finish in WWE, lumbar check. So keeping it simple, my number 14 is Cruiserweight Championship Tournament, Only Lorcan versus Cedric Alexander. All right. So number 14, what is yours, Chris?
Yeah, that was one of mine that I had earlier on my list as well, but this is also that's interesting because my number 14 is also a different match, same two men. It is Lorcan versus Cedric Alexander, but this time it was Cedric Alexander's final match in 205. I'd say NXT, that would have been a botch, but 205 Live, it was Cedric Alexander's final match. It was time for Lorcan to prove a point. Lorcan was determined. Cedric was going to pass the torch to him. Cedric had already been announced he was going to Raw. This was his last appearance. Lorcan was a man on a mission. He was determined he was going to beat Cedric Alexander. You are going to pass this torch to me. Let me carry 205 Live into the future. Let me do it. Cedric pretty much determined, you're going to have to beat me. They had an incredible match. That was. If you want to see Cedric Alexander as one of his best matches, go watch his final match in 205 Live against Only Lorcan. He made Only Lorcan look like he was $1 million in that match. Phenomenal match. The ending was incredible. Getting Lorcan paying respect, Lorcan getting the win, Lorcan paying respect, Cedric Alexander taking a bow to everybody, telling him bye as he was leaving 205 Live. That was the perfect way to end Cedric Alexander's run on 205 Live, and I hope one day he does get to come back and have some more incredible matches on 205 Live.
Not to mention, Nigel McGuinness was even shocked by that outcome because not only did it pass the torch Only Lorcan, you knew it was passing the torch because Only Lorcan kicked out Cedric Alexander's lumbar check. Only one other person to this day has done that, and that is Buddy Murphy. We thought that was it, and Nigel's like, and yeah, right there you knew, that's it, Cedric. He's officially passing the torch. That was a phenomenal match, and who knows, that might come up on my countdown too. But with that being said, that concludes this week's edition of 205 Live Matters. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in and joining in on this new schedule. It's a new day. It's a new Cruiserweight division. It's your same full, simple host here. Who knows, there might be some new interesting dynamics to this platform as we continue to develop the Cruiserweight division. Only time will tell. Thank you for all, of course, who tuned in and joined in the conversation and the fun. Chris Mace, as always, a pleasure, sir. Again, we're still on. Anything you want to talk about and plug, and where can people find you?
You can find me now. I have Facebook again at Christopher Mace. Pretty much that's there. You'll see all the wrestling content I post on there. If you want to friend request me on there and look up wrestling content, that's a great place to go and look up all the new shows from the NXT team as well. You can also check out my YouTube channel at The Holiday Christopher Mace. Thank you for the 52 subscribers I have so far. That's incredible. I would have never thought I would have gotten to 52 subscribers. Heck, I didn't think anybody would really watch, honestly, so I'm really humbled and honored by that. But you can go there, too, and check out all the newest episodes where I do holiday opinions, which are really quick bites of what I think of what's going on currently in wrestling with different things. And then my show once a week, I do the holiday break where I pick different wrestling subjects and discuss and analyze and discuss different things. We'll have a new episode 4 will be coming out here sometime today. You can follow me on Twitter at Christopher Mace, and you can, like I said, you can support every other member of the NXT team. I could ramble down their channels if I could ever learn them. One day I'm going to make a list and actually learn this. But the best way to do it, if you go to my YouTube channel, you can go into wrestling content on my list, and you can see all the newest episodes from Stephen and Jerry to Colin Andrews to the Simple Man himself to Cindy G, appearances by Good Brother Chris. You can see the last episode from Jeff Meacham so far on his channel. You can see James and Owen's newest work. And when Evan is able to appear on video again, you'll see Evan as well, since he's the newest member. But that's the easiest way to find all their content. You can look at there, and then if you like them, you can like, share, and subscribe to their content as well.
All right, simple enough. Boy, aren't you busy. Congrats on 52. Well deserved, man. Simple content, just like the chopping block and prime cuts like Colin Andrew. Great stuff to watch, great stuff to tune in. If you're a YouTube Red subscriber, great stuff to listen to. Anyway, thank you as always, sir. Pleasure. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know more about me, because you're like, I've never seen this guy before, who is he? Know this. I'm just a simple man. And if you haven't figured it out by now, I am a lifelong fan of wrestling. So if you want to follow me and talk anything wrestling, the 5 brands of WWE, or anything outside of that, including but not limited to New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, Stardom World, NWA, AEW, and more, look me up on Twitter. NoDQ.com/Noah takes you to my Twitter page, or follow my simple YouTube channel at youtube.com/user/NoahFoster210. Thank you to the 92 that have subscribed to me, as well as the over 4,000 views to my channel that I have. I'm approaching my 1-year anniversary of my YouTube channel, so I will probably do a live stream of my recently new podcast form, Simpleman's Rant Wrestling, where I talk about a week of wrestling I watch in 30 minutes or less and give some brief points. Maybe I'll do like an extended version. Only time will tell. At the heart of my channel, you'll also find, of course, hashtag 205 Matters, my weekly platform discussing the 205 brand and cruiserweights every week, and so much more. Predictions, recaps, simple takes, reviews, and all sorts of other stuff wrestling, and nice, neat playlists for you, including independent wrestling content and support independent wrestling folks. And if you haven't figured it out by now, support NoDQ. That's the reason I'm in YouTube, forever indebted to the NoDQ Galaxy and the Team NoDQ family. Buy a shirt, buy something, buy some merch. NoDQ.com/merch. Follow NoDQ on all your social media platforms. Your opinions matter. There's a comment section of everything at the official website. Polls, columns, memes, gifs, reviews, recaps, sexy female pics. You name it, it's there. Primarily WWE wrestling with a little bit of AEW and independent wrestling content as well. And stay tuned for my YouTube channel where I'll be doing predictions on New Japan Pro Wrestling, King of Pro Wrestling, as well as Bound for Glory predictions. I might even challenge Andre Corbell on predictions on that, and go follow his channel, Wrestling with Wrestling. Great content. Also supported by, of course, the Troll Slayer, Virtue, and the smartest man in the room, apparently, Robbie Vice. And as always, I'd like to close. Support your wrestling outlets, both big and small, and let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, unique, elite wrestling community together. Simple as that. But with that, thank you so much, everybody who tuned in for the first time or continue tuning in this series. Greatly appreciate it. If you like this, join the hashtag 205 Facebook group and join the conversation. And as far as this goes, please like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Leave your thoughts on the Cruiserweight division and 205 Live in the comments down below. Whether you believe in me, you critique me, you criticize me, I don't care. I stand by my stance. And I'm all about just interacting. It's all about diplomacy. Just be respectful. Don't be a bully. Be a star. And not the PR version either. Be a real thing about that in life. But with that being said, thank you again. And until the next video, whether here on NoDQ, somewhere else in YouTube or beyond, because I am starting some other series, including the Wednesday Night War Roundup with my friend Eric. And go follow his channel, at Neo Reality Entertainment. Great stuff. Great recaps. Great opinions. And also, I'll be doing some other stuff, too, with wrestling discussions later on, so stay tuned for that. Till next time, enjoy life, enjoy wrestling. Just, be yourself, have fun, and, be respectful to all, because we're all just fans of our own degree. And until the next video, whether here on YouTube or somewhere beyond in cyberspace, either with my friend Chris Mace here or somebody else, I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Y'all have a good day now.
And remember, and this is now more true than ever because it's still going, but now it's just being reinvented. Whether you hate me for it or you believe in me, I stand by this, and I'll stand by it to the day I die. 205 Live matters. Always.
Indeed.
Number one. Bye, everybody.